September 25th, the new Fox Tuesday kicks off with New Girl's new season. Then welcome Ben and Kate.
Stay away from my sister before you find out what 6 years of Krav Maga feels like. Well, like year and a half plus like 4 years on and off I was traveling.
Followed by another all-new New Girl.
What am I looking at here?
Pure, unadulterated friendship.
And the Mindy Project.
Can't believe you're tattling.
Tattling is when a little girl does it, okay? When a hot woman does it, it's called whistleblowing.
The new Fox Tuesday, premieres September 25th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's America's Next Top Model After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's America's Next Top Model After Show.
Welcome, everyone. Bing is for doing, and we are doing the America's Next Top Model Cycle 19 Episode 3 After Show. I'm Jackie Moran, calling in from New York. Fashion Week craziness. I put my feet to rest, and I'm ready to chat with my girls in the studio, Lauren and Ale Kona. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, guys.
Well, so we are missing our fabulous America's Next Top Model starlet, Brittany Brower, yet again this week, but she's doing some very exciting things. I will promise you that. She doesn't miss AfterBuzz unless it's something big. So hopefully when she joins us again next week, we'll be able to get some good scoop from her on some exciting things she has going on, all you Brittany Brower fans out there. So be patient. She'll be back with us. But us three ladies have plenty to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Only episode 3. I said last week the drama begins. We have our first walk-off, and by that I mean, of course, Maria, Maria.
Oh, man.
That song.
Yeah,
It should be the theme of our show tonight.
It
Maria.
should be.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Just what do we even say about her? She emerged, you know, we have Victoria, we have Kristen, we have Daren even, Kiara, who's a real ass bitch. We'll get to that.
Yeah, right.
Which I'm only quoting her, by the way. I don't curse.
Yes.
But Maria, of all the people, is the one to be the one walking off the set this week. And,
I saw
you
it
know,
coming.
we'll talk about it in more detail, but what do you guys think just initially?
I mean, first of all, my impression of Maria, I feel like you could tell she didn't want to be there, but at the same time, I think there's something deeper than that. I think I spoke about that last week.
Yeah.
I feel like she's a little bit insecure, more than anything else, and hiding behind her education.
Yeah.
Like, that's her excuse for everything. Like, she's too good and this, and that. And I don't think that's the case.
And you don't
at
think
all.
that's the actual issue?
No.
Yeah, you know what? That makes so much sense to me, too, because at first I kind of thought, okay, this is great. She's representing Ivy League, and she is. She looks like a model. I could see her really doing well. And then she started getting really withdrawn and, like, when she said my heart's not in it, it was obvious that it wasn't.
Right.
And honestly, I kind of, before she even took herself out, I wanted her gone.
Yeah,
because as an audience member, as soon as you see someone's not connected, you don't want to root for them. You don't want to watch them. There's no connection. Like, I was kind of like, okay, bye.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
You know, and then she's over here with, I know we're going to talk about later, but, you know, asking, do you want to do the makeover? Hell no. Like, who says that?
I know.
It sounds A, ungrateful. B, you just sounded ignorant. You're representing Harvard.
Yeah.
And the entire episode, I'm sorry, I would have never thought that she had an Ivy League education because she didn't know how to present herself at all.
Maybe that's her problem. Maybe she doesn't know how to, it's like the worlds collide in her mind. They don't merge together because it feels like she has this weird issue with like being a model or being Ivy League. Like you can be both. Look at Tyra.
Right.
right?
Right.
So maybe that's why she feels like she either has to be the model or she has to be the Ivy League student, and she's both, and she doesn't know how to make them happen, so she had to pick one. I don't think you have to pick. I think you could be both.
Right. And you know what? But here's the thing, too. Maybe she already knows that, hey, I'm good at school. I'm not so sure if I'm good at modeling.
Right.
So it's the
It's
safer
the
choice.
safe.
Exactly.
She's being safe, Jackie. We don't like that.
Well, you know, I think also, too, especially when you do have an education, modeling is, and, you know, if I'm already quoting PR and cursing tonight, modeling is a shit show. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game in fashion. And, you know, you have to be game for it. And so, yes, it's a TV show, and yes, they create hoops to throw at you, but I've been thrown up on a stage on a plank of wood with a fire burning right under my feet. I mean, in the real world of modeling, people do crazy things.
And you made it work.
Acting industry. What's that?
And you made it work. It's like you just have to, the
That's
show
why you
must
have to
go
make
on.
it work,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And so I think she had trouble letting go. And like we are talking about Victoria week to week, she's crazy, but she's game. I mean,
Yeah.
like, that's why
Yeah.
I said she could be in the studio with us and we could be saying whatever we're saying and she'd still be game. I mean,
Right.
so there's certain kinds of people that can take certain things. And I think Maria is just somebody who did not know what she was in for, didn't know how to handle it, and wanted to escape. And so it did start with the makeover craziness. So let's get into that, because I really want to know what you guys think about them giving them a choice for the first time. Because for me, it's like, it kind of felt like a trap. I mean,
Yeah.
you give them the choice, but if they say no,
Shame
it's
on
almost
you.
like it's like feeding them the bait, you know?
Yeah.
And in the past, girls have tried to refuse, and they've been punished for it. Now they're trying to make it like it's okay to say no, but we're still going to punish you for it. That's kind of how I took the whole choice factor.
Yeah, and
What do you guys think?
am I wrong? Wasn't it Maria that said, well, they gave us a choice and now they're making us feel bad for choosing one of the answers? I think that was Maria that said
Yeah,
that.
she did.
That's the one thing I will agree with.
exactly.
And her, and with what you're saying, Jackie, I do think, I felt like it was a total trap. Like, nobody there was going to say no, except for obviously the girl who didn't really want to be there. And then, well,
surprised
Victoria,
that
I think
she-
Victoria realized, though, that she had made a mistake. And
Totally.
she went, regretted what she had decided. But everyone else was like, obviously I'm doing this. I mean,
Right.
even who didn't like their makeover with the really short hair?
Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Daren of something with a D. I knew that. But Destiny was upset with her makeover. She didn't want to do it, but she knew, it's like she knew
Right.
she had to say yes.
Right.
I totally thought it was a trap too.
See, but I don't think they should have had the choice. In modeling, you don't have a choice. Just like Kelly Cutrone was saying, if you're hired by somebody, you have to be flexible.
Yeah.
So when you sign up to be in America's Next Top Model, you know there's going to be a makeover. So I don't know. I just don't think the choice should have been there.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
I agree. I think it was kind of...
How scathing was Kelly's conversation with Maria?
I loved
I mean,
it.
it was like so direct and in her face. And actually, at that point, we realized how that played out on Maria later when she called her the C word, which I
Yes.
believe is what it was. We
What?
couldn't
Yes.
tell because it was bleeped out. But Maria didn't act at that point like she was that mad, but then you could tell obviously she was, because that came out of her mouth
Right,
later at
right.
the photo shoot.
Right.
So Kelly really laced into her, but not even in a really overt way. It was
No.
just like digging right in there, like
Right.
straight to the point, in your face. And see, that's the thing about Kelly Cutrone's delivery that I actually like, is when she's right and she just goes straight at you. Sometimes she gets a little too harsh, in my opinion, but she can be straightforward in a good way. And here I think she was. And Maria obviously later took that in very deeply.
Right.
Well, she needed to be told. I think she needed to be leveled with. The problem with Maria, I think, that rubbed people the wrong way is that, we have two girls on the show. They both made the decision not to have a makeover. One of them was very humble about it and explained where she was coming from. Whereas Maria is just like, I don't care. Like, she has that I don't care attitude. I don't
Yeah.
need to do what you tell me. I don't. And you know what? Nobody likes that.
No.
Make a decision. If you have a reason to be making a decision, as Victoria did, okay, fine. And then you regret it or you don't, whatever.
Right.
She explained where she was coming from. Maria was just like, I don't want to do it. I
Yeah,
like
don't
my
wanna-
hair.
I don't want to cut my hair.
It's like, okay,
That's
nobody can
dumb.
relate to you. You're not opening up. You're acting closed off. You're being really bratty. So, yeah, I think Kelly needed to lay into her. And, I mean, come on. Kelly is on the, you're going to get laid into no matter what anyway. So, if you're going to do something like that, just be aware
Expect it.
that's what's going to happen.
Right.
Right. Be prepared for the
Exactly.
consequences. Now, some of these girls, can we get to the girls who did do the makeover?
Yes.
Some of these girls looked so good. I was actually, for the first time, there were some makeovers that I was like, wow, they look so much better. I mean, I think we're coming off of last season where it was British Invasion and everybody got their hair like dyed pink and all these weird things. Some of these girls, that's why it kind of feels like the old school top model, where these are truly some girls really coming to life with the makeover to start them off in the modeling world, because that really is what happens. You go into an agency and they decide your image. And for me, I have to say, there were some that just look so good, but for me, Laura with her ice blonde new hair is like my favorite thing in the universe. I mean, and maybe it's because I've always wanted to go ice blonde, and I'm channeling it through Laura, but for me, I think she was my favorite.
Yeah.
I think she looks so good.
She does look, it was a very drastic change. I will admit, some of these girls didn't change a lot for me. Like Yvonne didn't really look that different. Like Alyssa didn't really look that different.
Yeah.
But I will say Laura with
Layla, but she doesn't really need to look that different.
Yeah,
She's
already is.
A shoo-in.
Laura with the icy blonde hair, I totally agree. First of all, Jackie, you should totally do icy blonde. That would look so good on you.
Definitely.
Just throwing that in there. But
you think so, guys?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, seriously, but I don't know about. Sometimes the blonde eyebrows gets a little weird for me. But you're already blonde, Jackie. I feel like you could do icy blonde. I'm just saying.
It's very high fashion.
I love it. I'm getting prompted by top model to change my hair. Well, who knows? It maybe one day I will.
Maybe one day.
By the end of the season.
I know.
But you know who else I think looks really good is Daren. I mean, obviously.
She was one of my
faves. Ends
faves.
up with Daren, but it really, that change for her, really, to me, when they first straightened it, I was like, wow, she actually does look like she could be a model right now.
Yeah.
The braids, I was like not really liking on her so much. So when they just did that like bob that looked really beautiful and flowy, I thought that was great for her. I did not like, can I just say, what's up with the Britney's hair? Did you guys like that?
No, not at all. Not at all.
It was like a
even
weird
more Disney to me.
Bob with the flip. I don't.
No, too blunt.
It was weird.
I
and
didn't care for it
the
either.
color was weird too. It's like a weird reddish.
Oh my
skin
gosh,
tone. Yeah, it just
so
didn't
did
work
not
for
go
her
with
skin
her
tone at all.
skin tone.
Yeah.
It's like agencies are not always right. Her and even Tyra has to admit her issue with Destiny, because she knows she screwed Destiny up.
Yeah.
Poor Destiny. I really feel bad for her. But Brittany was totally creepy. I mean, I actually wrote ew with a million exclamation points.
Yes, you did actually.
She went from like one of my favorites to whoa, that's
yes,
really ugly.
I know.
Sorry. No offense, Brittany.
No,
and
she really liked it too. I didn't really like it, but I will say this, and I don't really want to be saying this right now, but I have to be honest. I really liked Kristen's. It was like Bridget Bardot kind of look with the bangs, and I think it looked really, really good on her.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like her that much. When she does talk, she is way too conceited for my liking, or she's just sort of floating under the radar. So it's either like way over here, or too much or not enough. But I really liked her makeover.
I'm like, calm down, honey. You're cuter when you're quiet.
Yeah, no, I thought it looked really good on her, and it was, the bangs were like a drastic enough change, but it still looked like her, and it fits her face well. So I really liked her makeover. Let's be specific, her makeover.
You know who I really liked was Nastasia.
Oh,
the lion's mane. I love.
the lion's
her
mane.
Hair.
Yes. What did you like the lion's mane, Brittany? I mean.
Wow,
Jackie,
really?
I'm like not. I'm
okay.
out of.
We're like one of the
there's
same. We're like
a million. I know, right?
No, yes, I really loved Nasia.
It looked
really
good.
did. I thought her and Kiara, not that they got that much different, but just so much better. I mean, they weren't like major transformations, but and also Kristen, I did think it took a high step into the fashion world, but I don't like her, so I couldn't highlight her name.
Yeah, right. No, I know.
But Nasia and Kiara really, for me, were like two that just got that much better.
Yeah, and the shorter eyebrows on Kiara, I thought that was an interesting choice, because she has a very like she's got like really high cheekbones, and I kind of like that idea of like making her eyebrows go up on the sides like that. At first I wasn't sure about the short eyebrows, but then with the long straight hair, she looked really beautiful.
Very
those
exotic.
two, those two were also some of my faves as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, of course, we have to talk about the tragedy of Destiny in a little more detail because you do have to feel bad for her. She looked horrible. Let's just face it.
Yeah.
And you really can't even blame her reaction. I mean, usually the girls who freak out are the ones with, like, really long hair, and then they want to chop it just to torture them. But this was, like, gone wrong. I really don't even think that they planned it to go so wrong because even Tyra had to, like, apologize towards the end. But it just looked so bad. And even when they styled it for a picture, it still looked horrible. You just have to feel bad for her. I don't blame her at all for breaking down.
What were they trying to do, though, Jackie? I don't get it. Like, they said they wanted it short in the back and long in the front, and then that I thought that's what they did, even though it ended up not being executed very well. But when we went, we'll get to this at the end, when she was at the judging, Tyra said she wanted to go like a completely different color. Was that, I'm confused about what got lost in translation.
That wasn't even in the card.
Well,
yeah.
Almost like the hairdresser got drunk and decided instead of like doing it shorter in the back, he like made a half of it shorter.
Right.
And then it's like he passed out and he forgot to do the color. I mean, I don't know how to explain it other than that. I mean, I really just don't know what happened. How this is where fashion people get too into their own selves and they think they're doing something fabulous, and then if they all say it's fabulous, it's still not fabulous. Sorry, you don't get away with it all the time.
No, I think that's a good point. Something happened. Something bad happened there.
I thought, when she read the card, I thought it was going to be like a Rihanna type hairdo, you know, with a nice bob, very short in the back, and like a sexy like sweep over her eye.
That would look good.
Yeah, and when they showed her picture,
Let's see. Maybe they'll fix it for next week. Let's hope. Here's hoping for Destiny's sake.
Yes.
But there's no way you could kick off Destiny after this week because you just really ruined her life for a couple months. But now, before we get to the naked photo shoot, we need to talk about the drama of Kiara and her real ass bitchness. And of course, again, I'm quoting her. So I talked, and I want to call it out because I talked about Kiara and her toughness and how I liked it. And then here she goes and ruins it and takes it over the edge. A step too far. Now, Daren didn't help anything because I think Daren really sounded really stupid
ignorant
herself and in this argument. And I have to say that you know it's a bad argument and that you're both looking really bad when Victoria is the one making sense of it and calling you guys out for not making any sense.
Great point.
Crazy Victoria is calling you out. Something's wrong.
Great point, Jackie. Honestly, that was the one like chime in that she had where I was like, oh man, she sounds like
she makes sense.
She's being normal. I didn't want to say normal, but I mean, there's lack of a better word.
The voice of reason.
The voice of reason. Exactly. She totally was like, yeah, that is not a real argument. Who's a real bitch and who isn't is not a real argument. It's like they were so enthralled in their dumb argument that they didn't realize how stupid and like lost in some weird, I don't even know what dialogue that made no sense, that they didn't even realize how dumb they sounded. I mean, they sounded ridiculous to me.
Two big egos,
and
that's
what was the fight even over? It was about if somebody was allowed to stay up later or not. What is Kiara turning into everybody's mother now?
Well,
like they can't stay up?
You know, that's the role she plays in her life. So maybe she felt like she, you know, I mean, I kind of watched her thinking that like I think she does kind of think that she gets to say in a way like, hey guys, I'm going to do this and you need to know what my rules are. Like she sets the boundaries. I think she feels like that's her role. And okay, you know what she was asking was not that unreasonable though.
No.
I mean, maybe if she came off like she was setting boundaries and that might annoy some people, but she's literally like, hey, after midnight, could you like pipe down a little? And then Daren had to go. I mean,
but see, I think that got lost in translation because Daren took it her own way and was like, you can't tell me to go to bed. I'm staying up till 2. That's not what Kiara said at all. She just said, like you said, be respectful, not you have to go to bed.
These girls, I swear, they're just so ridiculous sometimes. But that's what makes it fun to watch, right?
Exactly.
Of course. What is Top Model without a little drama?
Duh.
Now, we have to get into the naked photo shoot because this is now the second photo shoot in a row where they are giving them their hardest challenges in the real world of photo shoots back to back. I mean, this is a crazy season because in the real world, these are like two of the toughest challenges you would face is being able to get out there and do the naked, simulated naked thing. And of course, the beauty shots from last week where have to just use your facial features. I mean, they're putting them to the test really fast. And I have to give these girls, for the most part, a lot of credit because they pretty much all got right out there and got naked and did it. I mean, besides Maria, everyone was really pretty good about getting out there and doing this photo shoot. I was surprised on the whole with the girls being okay with it.
Nobody seemed really apprehensive about it. Usually there's somebody, you've seen obviously the photo shoots where they've got to be suspended up on wires and one girl's really afraid of heights, or they've got spiders crawling on their faces. So one's has arachnophobia. You always hear, there's always somebody with an issue or a fear, but I didn't hear any. I mean, besides, like you said, Jackie, Maria just being not into it. I don't know if it had anything to do with the nudity, if that was like the straw that broke the camel's back, but she definitely, it didn't seem like that was it. I don't remember hearing one girl being like, we have to be nude, oh my God. And by the way, who cares? Rob Evans. Can I just say something really quick? Rob, if you're watching, I know I just met you and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. I just have to. I love him so much.
That was a very smooth pickup line right there, I have to say. On air and everything. I think Rob Evans has to call you after that.
Please.
Not maybe, definitely.
Definitely, right? No, but I wouldn't be complaining, back to what we were saying about getting naked with Rob Evans. Well, I mean, not naked, but basically.
Close enough.
Oh, my God.
And I guess I was going to say that college age is probably, your college years is when the nakedness would happen anyway, so I guess it all fits together pretty nicely.
Go with it, girls.
But now let's get into a little more detail, though. Obviously, this is where Maria throws out the C word and basically quits. And it's funny because Johnny Wujek was trying to get her to stay so bad. It was Tyra wanted to be able to have her Harvard girl there, and Johnny was trying everything to save it. I bet they cut that scene down to nothing. And she was just going. So, I mean, I don't even think it's that much of more of an issue. She's gone, and like all the girls said, goodbye, we're not really going to miss you. And I think that's kind of how I feel about her. If she doesn't want to be there, then she just doesn't have to be there.
Deuces, right? Yeah, no, I agree. I became uninterested in her as soon as I felt the disconnection on her part. And you know what? I mean, if it's not for her, it's not for her. No big deal. But yeah, I don't know that anyone was like, no, don't go. I feel like everyone was kind of just like, okay. I mean, and if the only reason why Johnny wanted her to stay, I mean, we don't know for sure, but if it's because of the Harvard thing and the Tyra connection, it wasn't going to keep people voting for her and rooting for her, for the social media aspect. So, I mean, I think it might have been for the best.
Right. If anything, though, I think it kind of sucks because that's one spot that some girl who was dying to be on the show could have had.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But too late. So
too bad for
bye,
her.
Maria, and on to the rest of the girls. I really have to say that the one thing I'm going to give Brittany after her hair looking horrible, I will give her a little bit back in the photo shoot because sometimes horrible hair can get, it can be made better in a photo shoot. And at least her horrible hair looked a little bit better on her photo shoot.
It did. I think, yes. I think it did. It sort of didn't look as strange as it did the day of the makeover, but I still I can't jump on that bandwagon though. I mean, it was okay, but yeah.
I was trying to give her a little bit of credit, but I guess you guys are just pretty much saying it's horrible. Let's face it,
sorry,
it's horrible. Who else did you? I mean, Nastia, I thought was working the main.
Yeah.
I thought Yvonne. I think for having her curves and needing the confidence, I don't think she has much confidence as I would have liked Yvonne to have on this shoot. She by far wasn't the worst, but
yeah, I wanted her to be a little more intense, I think, but and then she was the one that when they said cover his eyes or something, and she really kind of covered his eyes real hard. It looked a little awkward. Right. But yeah, I wanted her to show her curves and be very
own it.
Yeah, and she was feeling a little, I don't know, maybe she didn't want to show that part of her body, she was saying, but I thought she could have done a little bit better than what the final result was. But
do you think, I mean, obviously you're standing there with this chiseled, gorgeous model. Obviously you're going to be a little bit insecure.
How is that, Jackie? Have you ever shot with some, I mean, I'm sure guys think the same when they're shooting with you too, but on your side, do you ever feel oh my gosh, this is making it more difficult, or is it making it easier? What do you think? It's a hot guy. What do you do?
Well, I actually had one of my first photo shoots that my boyfriend and I got in a fight over was the Cosmopolitan photo shoot, because I did have to straddle a guy. And, you know, people could say it's acting and people could say whatever, but there is, of course, the normal human mind, and it goes places, and it does get a little weird. I mean, I think it's something that you do have to kind of just go out there and get to it and do it, and it's part of the business. But I'm not going to say it doesn't get a little weird and you kind of have to shake it off a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm a little more reserved than some other people in the business, but I think, as you know, even if you are feeling that way, no matter what, you still have to go out there and kill it. So even if it does feel a little bit uncomfortable, the girls that still can go out there and kill it are the girls who will be successful, you know? So,
and some of them,
that's not to say that it isn't hard.
Oh, right. No, and some of them really went for it too, like Victoria, where there had to be like no kissing with her, and she was like, she's one of those ones that really goes for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that
she's such a free bird. I feel like Victoria is game for anything. I mean, she didn't do the makeover, but then she's like, look, I curled my hair. I mean, I think she's just like, she's just a free bird, Victoria. You gotta love her. And actually, I do think her photo was great, but I want to get into the judging to talk about it more specifically.
Hey, Jackie, really quick.
I know she was the winner.
Before we get into our next topic, I have to cut you off because I really want to say to everybody out there to go to iTunes real fast first, rate and comment us, tell your friends. It helps us out. We want to know what you're thinking, what you love about the show, and what you want to hear us talk about. So definitely, it only takes a minute. Go on to iTunes.
We like your comments.
Yes.
Guys, we want your good, your bad, your ugly. We want to hear everything. We want you to just write it down for us. That's all we ask, because we say everything here on the line, and we want you guys to do it too. And, of course, you can always call us at 424-256-1729, too. We want to hear you guys live.
Yeah.
We actually had Stormy Woods, who's one of our biggest fans on Twitter. She sent us one of our news stories for tonight. So it's thanks to her that we have some big news and gossip coming up later in the show. But that's what we need from our fans. We want you guys to connect with us on iTunes and call us and all that good stuff. But let's get into the judging, and now let's get into these photos, because I have to say, Victoria was the winner, but I don't know if I agree with her as winner. I feel like there were so many girls that surprised me, from Alyssa to Layla killing it yet again to Laura. I don't know if Victoria, it was one of Kelly Catrone's favorite shots. Maybe that weighed into it a bit, but I just don't know if she was my absolute favorite shot. I feel like I just favored others, even though hers was good. So what do you guys think? Am I off base here?
Wait, who? No, I don't think so. I don't think you are. Well, I don't know, but hold on, Jackie. First, I just need to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Who would you have picked then? Like, if you had to pick one, who was your favorite?
I have to say, I think anybody out of Layla, Laura, and Alyssa.
Right.
My top three by far. I thought they were all better than Victoria. And I thought Victoria was really good as well. But I just think that all three, Alyssa, Layla, and Laura, were all better than her.
Yeah, I loved Alyssa, Layla, and Laura. Layla always kills, well, so far has always killed it for me as well. But this is what I want to say about Victoria. I feel like she found the light, she found the angle, and she looked different to me in that photo. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because when she speaks, we see her awkward, like social awkwardness, and for whatever reason that was gone in that photo, and she just really worked her face. To me, I loved those other girls, like you mentioned. I kind of feel like Victoria took the best picture. I don't know, when her picture popped up to me, I was like, it like shocked me a little. Like, I think it just didn't really look like her. It was like a transformation or something. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of agree with Kelly on picking Victoria and really championing that photo. I liked it.
Here's the thing, though. I liked that photo, but I saw when we were watching the actual shoot, I saw some poses that she did that I loved and I would have thought they would have used, and when they didn't, I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
But if
you know what? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I think that she was doing really well during the photo shoot, and then when I saw the photos, I just wasn't as wowed by the final still.
Yes.
Because there was just something about the final still for her that it wasn't like, wow, it was my favorite. But then again, we all have our opinions, and that's totally what this is all about.
Yeah.
And I'm not like disagreeing, like, oh my God, she shouldn't have won. I don't think that at all. I'm just personally, I just took to Laura. I mean, hello, Rob called her a Greek goddess, and I think it was more of an excuse for him to call himself a Greek god.
Well, he's not wrong. That was funny when he did that, though. He's like, I mean, I'm just saying in the photo. It was like, you look, just stop talking and just shh. I just want to.
You look sensational. I look even better.
No, it was very funny, but yeah, I think Laura did take a really, really good photo too.
Yeah. I liked Alyssa's. If I had to pick one, I would have said Alyssa.
Yeah.
She's my
favorite. I actually was just going to say even better than Laura. I think in a surprising way was Alyssa because, hello, I think they called it perfectly. She really did look like the combination of J-Lo and Megan Fox, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was
like such a good call.
So spot on. And wasn't she the one who Tyra said was exhaling in the photo? Was that?
Yes.
Or inhaling or exhaling? I don't remember what. But I will say, she would be my second pick. I just for whatever reason, it's so subjective. Like we just said, it's all of our opinions. Like I look at a photo, it's different than what you both see. But Victoria did kind of shine for me. But I think that Alyssa was definitely like, wow.
Yeah.
It did look like she was releasing something or inhaling or exhaling or something, and she was so intense and she looked gorgeous.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really, really liked her photo. And Layla, of course, yet again, 10 and a 9. Who gave her a 7? I didn't write down if it was Tyra or Kelly, but I'm sorry, Layla should not have gotten a 7 from any judge. I actually, when I looked at it, thought Best Picture yet again, but then again, I didn't see Alyssa's at that point. And I like how Brian Boyd called her gap tooth the road to fashion stardom.
Yeah.
But Layla is killing it. Let's be real about that.
She is the one to watch out for, I think. She's very high fashion.
So wait, really quick though, what did you guys think about Destiny's picture? Because across the board from Rob and from Kelly, she got low scores, but then Tyra out of nowhere gave her kind of a high score after telling her that she looked like she was really scared. That confused me a little bit.
Yeah, I was confused by that too. I didn't really like her photo, and it wasn't horrible, but I just feel like it's, again, like last week, she can give more. There's something that is not coming out, and I don't know why Tyra gave her a better score than what she critiqued her with. It was a little off to me, but...
Oh, I know why, guys. It is because she doesn't know how to make up for that chop job she did on her hair. You know what she did.
Yeah.
Good point.
And I think that's where that fear came from. You could tell throughout the whole episode, all she kept voicing is her insecurity about looking like a little boy. So how do you sit there and look sexy with a really sexy man and you feel like a little boy? Like, I get it. She was holding back.
Yeah, and I'm just curious. I couldn't really quite get what they were saying about the whole, they made like a conversation about her hair, about the whole like lesbian thing and all that. That was kind of weird. Like I didn't even get what like they were trying to say. Tyra was like trying to make it about like lesbian issues and all this stuff, and I feel like, why did it even go there? I just had to throw that out there because
I think Tyra, that I found that conversation a little forced as well, but I think she was, trying to get something out of her for maybe the sake of people watching. I'm not sure. Tyra was trying to get something out of Destiny. Yeah. But I think that, she saw how upset she was and was kind of trying to dig. And once Destiny said, I don't want to look butch, I don't want to look like a lesbian, or what a stereotype of a lesbian, because we all know not all lesbians are butch looking. Right. Tyra, then you saw her like wheel turn and she's like, well, let's talk about it. I was like, she just was like, look, I don't really want to look like that. That's all. I'm just saying, I don't think I want to look pretty, and I don't know if I think that feels pretty on me, but whatever. It ended up being a bad haircut anyway. But yeah, that was kind of a forced combo.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Awkward.
Yeah. And another great moment in the show, I have to say, I have to give it to Brian Boyd, because I think it was his accent too, calling Kiara Pocahontas on steroids.
Oh, steroids. Yeah.
Was one of my favorite moments of the night. I really liked Kiara. Like, up until, it's so funny how quick the episodes can turn. I really don't like her this week. And I really hope I go back to liking her because I really, really liked her. And now I don't.
Yeah.
And she didn't have a good photo even.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I really wanted to root for her. So this was not a good week for Kiara, obviously.
She needs to bring it back up.
I was surprised that she wasn't in the bottom 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, of course, who was in the bottom 2 and eliminated, we have to talk about Daren now because she was, I have to say, we'll talk about her overly dramatic exit in a second, but I do have to defend her photo because I don't think her photo was the worst of the bunch. I think they were really hard on her.
Who was the worst to you, Jackie?
I have to say, I think Kiara might have been my worst this week. Or Yvonne. I mean, there was nothing great about her angle. She might have had better photos because I feel like sometimes there might be better ones lurking in there. But even Nastasia, who didn't use her angles very well, and even though I love her hair, Tyra made a great point from a model's perspective. That photo would have never made it in a model portfolio because she did not lengthen her body, and it made her body look worse than it is, and you never put a photo in your book where you're not looking better than you are.
Yeah, she said she looked like the petite, like she was on the petite side. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will say this,
so
though.
I have to say, I think Darian's was not the worst.
I don't know.
But, it sounds like you guys might agree, which is totally fair. I think Daren didn't have much potential in this competition, although she gets a comeback chance now. But I'm not missing her, but I'm just saying I don't know if it was necessarily the worst of the bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like it all that much, and maybe there were other reasons why they thought that she wasn't, should stay, but I didn't. I mean, I guess I kind of agree with you, Jackie. I didn't really think it was the worst. I kind of didn't really like Destiny's photo, but maybe Tyra felt bad about the bad haircut and didn't want to just kick her off. But I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I guess there were a couple to me that didn't really impress me. She was one of them, but I mean, it was definitely a surprise to me who was going to go. It wasn't a clear like, oh, it's definitely going to be Daren. Her photo was awful. Right. Like there were other ones that weren't that outstanding.
I guess I'm biased because I just don't care for her personality. And I know that's irrelevant to her
talent.
Well,
it's not really, though, because, I mean, it is, but not in this cycle. The social media is a really, obviously part of the factor of what makes you stay and not. So the personalities, I mean, I'm wondering if that's going to ever affect Kristen negatively, or maybe she'll have a turnaround and be nicer or less conceited or whatever. Yeah. But I feel like here it does come into play. I mean, just if you're just looking at a photo, no, but for this cycle and this competition specifically, it does matter. And it does affect if I like their photos or not. For whatever reason, their personalities are so in the spotlight in this cycle that I feel like I like or connect to a photo, to a model that I feel like I like or respect, or, I don't know. It matters this time.
Yeah, and a lot of people were worried about personality not coming into play this season because of the fact that all the photos were getting judged before we got to know them. But I actually think that it's playing out very well, and I think personality becomes a huge part of it still. And I don't think that seeing the photos beforehand has ruined anything about the excitement of getting to know these personalities. Like you just said, the show is all about personality right now.
Right.
So I think that's just showing a little something that people were a little worried about ruining the show with the photos beforehand, but I don't think it is at all.
Yeah, I don't think it did either.
Daren, you're right. I think you're right on Daren. I'm not missing her that much because of her personality. So I think they're playing it right so far. And I think with the social media in there, so far we're getting results that I'm happy with. So I'm not complaining about a thing.
Yep.
And, it's interesting you said maybe Kristen will become nicer or whatever. But judging by our predictions that we have coming up, I think we know the answer to that question. But ladies, what else do you have? I know you have something to share, Lauren, before we get into our predictions.
We just want to talk a little bit about Fox Tuesdays, guys. Okay, let's face it. We all love a good comedy. I know I do. It's human nature, for God's sake, okay? So Fox Premiere Tuesday is stacked with amazing comedies. First, Zooey Deschanel is back with the season premiere of New Girl. And boom, just like that, she is laid off and she is looking for work. Then, family is a funny thing, because from the producers of The New Girl, it's the new series critics are calling one of the year's best comedies, Ben and Kate. Then the season premiere of New Girl keeps on going with another all-new episode. I know, sweet, right? Mm-hmm. Then Mindy Kaling has a brand new office. It is the series premiere of the new comedy, The Mindy Project. I am telling you guys, if you are looking for a night full of laughs, Fox Premiere Tuesday has got you covered. It all starts September 25th at 8 p.m. And I just want to throw in there, Ben and Kate is hysterical. The brother-sister relationship is so funny. And the British chick, BJ, is like, hilarious. I can't even, the stuff she says is like, I love her. I'm sorry, you guys, if you haven't seen it, just that show alone, along with obviously The New Girl is huge. And
I love the Mindy Project.
I just dropped my pen. I'm so excited. The Mindy and everyone, Mindy Kaling has a huge following, but Ben and Kate, I just have to I have to highlight that one. It's so funny.
I know. Can you guys believe it is like September premiere? That is like, I forget how fun it is to watch all these new shows until it comes around every September.
So good.
I forget the things that make me, I'm sad about summer, but then I forget the things that make me love fall. And here they are reminding us. So guys, obviously everyone check out Fox premiere starting September 25th. You know we will here at AfterBuzz TV.
That's right.
But now that being said, let's get into some news and gossip.
Let's do it.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so big top model drama this week, guys, because when Dr. Phil's involved, there's drama. Big story this week, JL Strauss is a former America's Next Top Model contestant who's hooked on meth, and we're going to get to her story in a second, but Cardi English, her episode on Dr. Phil prompted Cardi English to speak out against the ANTM family, and I've met Cardi in New York, so I know she's doing pretty well with her business, with what she's gotten since the show. So I was a little surprised to see her speak out like this, but she did write that Tyra won't do anything for Jael. She provided a wonderful platform for girls to have a chance at their dream, but thereafter, there is no Tyra mail. I had to guide myself, and even though I won a model competition, I still had no idea what the modeling business was like. I had no idea what the industry was really like. I was famous, but no one wanted to take my picture. And we've all heard this about former top model contestants, that they have a hard time making it in the real world. She went on to say, I love what I have made for myself since my win, but mentally it's horrific, and any girl who's been on ANTM can back me up. No one wants to take us seriously as models. So those are some strong words from Cardi, and I wish more than ever that Brittany was here to weigh in on that.
I know.
But I don't know if you should bite the hand that feeds you, because really, would anybody know Cardi's name if it weren't for Top Model?
No.
Exactly.
And are there so many people out there who go through the stresses of modeling regardless?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's Tyra's job to make the modeling industry okay. It's a tough industry on everybody.
Exactly. And this is the thing about it. Yes, it's a tough industry on, and obviously you can speak about that firsthand, Jackie, but I feel like this is an opportunity that was given to you. You get plunged into the world of modeling at this way higher level on the totem pole than anybody else in the beginning. So you know what? If it's a little rough and it's an adjustment, that's part of the game for you who just got this amazing opportunity. I mean, I kind of understand what she's saying. She's basically saying, look, it's rough, it's hard, but there's a way to say that and not sound ungrateful. And that came off ungrateful to me. So that, and I liked Cardi D. I don't like that she said that.
Well, it's like, where would she be without that show, though? Like, how many years back would she be without it?
Or anywhere at all.
Exactly.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
And she went on to speak about JL, that they should have evaluated her more before letting her on the show. All they saw was a personality good for television. Well, this hopefully will save at least her life and someone watching. Everything happens for a reason. Again, it is not Top Model's job to avoid drug addicts or, stop drug addicts. I don't think that Top Model probably seen 300 other girls, and how many of them are drug addicts because of Top Model. I don't think that this is Top Model's fault that somebody's emerged as a drug addict here.
I agree. I think that's just circumstance, and people get offered things all the time. It's up to your discretion to say yes or no. It's not because she was on a TV show or not because she was on a TV show.
No.
That it doesn't go hand in hand to me.
No. She obviously had some other deeply rooted issues which propelled her to do so.
Of course.
And now this doesn't mean that it's not a good story. This is Dr. Phil. Actually, I believe it aired today. But leading up to the show, there was tons of press teasing towards it that it was a crazy episode. She obviously is 28 now. She finished 6th on the show in 2007. And guys, if you've seen this photo of her, oh my God, thank you, Stormy Woods, for pointing this out on Twitter. She looks almost unrecognizable in the preview. I mean, she just looks horrible.
It is sad.
It's very sad. Apparently, she walked toward the stage with an escort. She changed her mind. She went running. Dr. Phil chased her into the lot. He sat down with her in the lot behind a dumpster. I mean, talk about drama.
Right.
You know, it's a sad, sad story.
It
and
is.
She just happens to be a former top model contestant. You know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's
very sad.
It is really sad. And it's just like, it's, again, just to chime in on that, it's like all of the childhood TV stars that now then they emerge as like alcoholics or drug addicts. I mean, it's not like you can blame the TV show for them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think it goes hand in hand, like I said, but it is not sad nonetheless and unfortunate, of course. But what can you do?
Yes. Now, what else is unfortunate is that the world is letting Ryan Lochte take over Fashion Week. I mean, when you think of someone who should be corresponding at Fashion Week, isn't your first choice Ryan Lochte? I mean, what is going on with this world? I don't know why Ryan Lochte is now performing Fierce Pouts and Smizes with Tyra Banks at Fashion Week. I mean, he's an Olympic swimmer. I don't really understand this connection.
I think that they're really, I mean, we saw the MTV Movie Award or Video Music Awards. If any of you saw that in the, the Fierce Five were on there, and Gabby had a little performance during Alicia Keys' number. I think it's like the world saying, okay, we see you in the Olympics. Now let's put you in the real world. Let's give you a place. And Ryan Lochte clearly has a following because he is pretty hot. But then when he opens his mouth, I mean, Ryan, I love you too, and call me, but sometimes he doesn't have the most interesting things to say, and I don't know if it's just like the camera weirds him out or what. Maybe he's interesting in person. I'd like to find out, but I don't agree with him as a correspondent at all. I feel like he lacks charisma.
Yeah,
a little. I mean, he's good to look at, but he also he's
to what he's good at.
But he says, though, he's open about wanting to be a fashion designer. So maybe they're trying to help. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh. He's really, first he's in like a pink mankini in Vegas.
Yeah.
Now he's hitting Fashion Week. I'm sorry, but I'm launching a little bit of an anti-Ryan Lochte thing right now because I really just don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't. But if you guys want to see him, in a photo op, impromptu photo op with Tyra Banks, that is what's going down at Fashion Week. So he's all over the place, and the least you'd expect. But he's doing some fierce pouts on Tyra's Twitter page if you want to go check it out.
Jackie is not Team Ryan. You are not Team Ryan.
I'm so not Team Ryan. I was always a Phelps girl myself, I think. It's like Bianca. If you talk a big game, you have to back it up. And Lochte was talking one big game, and he did not even back it up at the Olympics. I'm sorry.
Snap.
Snap is right. Sorry, Ryan Lochte. I'm just not one for your antics. But he definitely has a good PR person. I'll give him that.
Yep.
So that being said, ladies, why don't we get into some predictions?
Yes.
Hey.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so we were saying that Kristen, maybe she'll change her ways and be nicer. And then you look at the upcoming episode, and she's basically getting it in a slapping match with Destiny.
Yeah,
I'm like, please hit her. Please.
Yeah, that's all she was doing. She was just wanting to get her kicked off the show. But, I think that she might have her little shining moment as a not so nice girl again in this next coming up episode. I just have to predict in here that Tyler Perry is going to be the next challenge. And I think it's safe to say it's probably an acting challenge.
Right.
And I'm just going to say this, just because she kind of goes for it, and I could be totally off. It could go one opposite way. Victoria, I think she's going to go for it, and I think she's going to do good. Or I'm going to be horribly wrong, and it's going to be the worst, most uncomfortable scene or whatever the challenge is. It's going to be...
Jaws will drop.
Yeah, Jaws will drop. But I think I'm going to say that I think she might be good. And what about Laura with her acting roots? Maybe she'll kick it in there, huh?
That's true. I didn't think about
Predicting
that.
maybe she might be good. Yeah.
That's a good call. I wonder how Laura's going to do on this one. But obviously, judging from the predictions, we know that Victoria is making some sort of scene, whether it's a good dramatic scene or just a hysterically bad dramatic scene. We know Victoria is bringing it to us next week. Yeah. That's clear. That's a given.
Hey, I love her go for it attitude. I will give her that much.
Yep.
That is true. You have to have that, especially, I do think that will come in handy. But do you see Tyler and Tyra cracking up at her in the behind the scenes?
I love it.
She's probably doing something pretty good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder, do you think Destiny will actually hit Kristen? That's the last thing I'm going to ask before we sign off here.
No.
Do you think they will actually do the hit?
I don't think so.
It'll take her off the show.
I don't think she'll do it. I think I don't think so. I think they're going to get really heated. I don't think there's going to be a hit.
Yeah, let's seriously hope not. That would be a really sad day for Destiny.
Yeah.
Now, ladies, we're going to keep the conversation going through next week, so tell everybody where they can follow you on Twitter.
Definitely, you guys can follow me at Kiss My Passport.
And you guys can follow me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, same name on Facebook and Instagram.
Love it. And I am Jackie Moran on everything. And we are signing off here until next week. Keep tweeting us your stories and your thoughts, also at AfterBuzz TV. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Thank you.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.